Giannis Antetokounmpo in the last 2 games in the NBA Finals has done 2 highlights that if the Bucks end up winning the finals, we will likely be seeing for the next 10, 20 years or so. First off, an incredible defensive back-esque swatting away of an alley-oop to DeAndre Ayton that would have won Game 4 or tied Game 4 up. And then the icing alley-oop of a pass after Chris Paul had been ripped at the end of Game 5. That's one of...
He got deboed. J. Rule Holiday deboed him. Just like, that's my ball.
It was incredible. And you wonder about Chris Paul and all the tendencies of Chris Paul that you don't like. The flopping, the
This
turnovers.
could be the 4th time he blows an 0-2 lead.
Right, and which is not entirely his fault, but he's there situationally
kind of his
in all
fault.
those spots, and he has been turning the ball over a lot. You're right, in the worst possible spot. But Giannis Antetokounmpo had this amazing catch of an alley-oop. I remember seeing this at the bar at Ballard. We went to Shelter, and the whole place lost its mind when that happened, and it was cool to feel normal again. But Giannis on Friday, and this was after the game-winning, essentially, deflection that he had of that alley-oop to DeAndre Ayton, he was asked about that highlight, and this is what he had to say afterwards. And, man, how do you not like this guy?
From my experience, right? Like, when I think about, like, oh, yeah, I did this. I'm so great. I had 30. I had 25, 10, and 10, or whatever the case might be. Because you're going to think about that. Oh, we won this and that. Usually the next day, you're going to suck.
Right.
Simple as that. You like the next few days you're gonna be terrible, and I figured out like a mindset to have that like when you focus on the past, that's your ego. I did this, we were able to, beat this team 4-0. I did this in the past. I won that in the past. Right. And when I focus in the future, is my pride. Like, yeah, next game 5. I do this and this and this. Right. I'm going dominant. That's your pride talking. Like it doesn't happen. Like you're right here, and I kind of like try to focus in the in the moment, in the present, and that's humility. That's being humble. That's not setting no expectation. That's going out there, enjoying the game, competing at a high level.
So clean up on the text line. By the way, it was Devin Booker who got ripped there. Giannis was struggling with free throws in that game, and yet down the stretch, it was the alley-oop that he had and the deflection that he had of the missed free throw, getting the rebound, the offensive board for Milwaukee to eventually ice the game. That was, I think, just so cool to see, and he's so easy to root for. I mean, you see him with these struggles, but listen to him talk like that. What NBA star talks like that? Like, name one. I mean, he feels like one of a kind on that front. There's always just this ego, and maybe it's because of his background, where he's from, and all the things that he had to overcome just as a kid coming over from Greece. But it's really been I love this guy. He's so fun to watch. And now I am rooting for Milwaukee in the finals, even though I did want Chris Paul to win. Nope, I've done a 180. I want Giannis to win.
Giannis's personality makes him... He's just a lovable dude. There's a video that I've seen circulating of a girl came and handed him, it looked like a series of drawings she'd made, like a little booklet of things, and he stands up and walks around to give her a hug and then poses for a photo. He's like, oh, I can't believe you did this, you drew this. He's a sweetheart. I typically don't like basketball players who don't thrive on scoring. I like scorers. I think that's the name of the game in basketball. I think there's times that I'll really like a point guard who sets things up, but Antetokounmpo, it's really what stands out about his game is how athletic he is at his size and how he runs the floor. He is dominating that series even though he struggles to score. He is dominating it because of how hard he plays and how well he runs. It's a totally different style of game. I guess it's reminiscent almost of what Ben Wallace did with the Pistons, but that was a different era of basketball where it was easier to grind the game down and slow it down. He's doing it by the pace he plays at. It's been a really fun series to watch. I'm not sure, and I don't really particularly care how many other people are watching it. It's a great series. Devin Booker's an unbelievable scorer.
He's become a star in this series.
DeAndre Ayton is someone, I think he probably needs a little more stamina. It seems like he can run out of gas late in games, and then watching the way Giannis gets them to play because of how that play, the alley-oop dunk that he has, he's the
Unbelievable.
only big man that runs the floor like that
Yeah.
to make that happen. He's the only one. It's pretty remarkable.
It was a heck of a play. And if you can think of a more likable athlete in sports, and let's just speak about it objectively. We're not talking about Seattle athletes necessarily. We're just looking at it from you have no reason to root for this person, and yet you do. Can you top Giannis Antetokounmpo?